Welcome. Great afternoon, everyone. My name is Lucia Gabriela, and we are doing a beautiful get-together with all the co-authors and the compiler of this book coming up May 30. It's called In Pursuit of the Divine, Written Stories to Empower Women's Soul. And I was part of this book, and I had such an honor and pleasure to work with Kristas and so many amazing women and that inspire, empower, and transform people's life with their message, with their story, and with their work. So welcome today. It's such a beautiful Sunday afternoon, and thank you for taking your time to listen to us and listen to our stories and be empowered and be inspired today, because one of the messages that may came out of this show or any other shows that we're going to be doing in the future to introduce and get to know each one of the authors is about giving you some of the tools for you to break free, to liberate yourself, and you can find and you can rediscover your true divine. So today I have Kristas, the compiler, the creator of this amazing book, the one that put all of this together. And we want to introduce Kristas. Welcome, Kristas, today.
Thank you.
So we also have Chloe. If she can introduce herself too. How are you doing, Chloe, today?
Good. Thanks for having me. This is Chloe Rain. How are you?
Awesome. Kristas, you're such an empowering, amazing woman that put together 30 women from all over the United States. I believe some people from different parts of the world. You put together all this, and what was your inspiration to create this book? What was the reason?
Well, the inspiration really came from the burning desire to collaborate with a very large group of women. And 2 years ago, I had this desire filling me up, but not really having any idea what to do with it. And I stepped in and out of partnerships, collaborations, trying to really co-create and make things happen with other women, but it was, looking back, a lot like everything I was trying to step into was too small. Nothing went forward, nothing really worked out. There was a lot of movement and then stopping, and so I held the vision for 2 years, and in December this opportunity to do an anthology came to me, and I knew that was it. I knew it was the collaboration I was really dreaming of, and I thought, wow, if we could bring together 30 written stories. I mean, we really all have a story, and speaking from my own experience, I know that I just want to click on you, Lucia, because I'm looking at Simmerit and I'm talking to you.
Fine.
And I knew.
Keep talking. Google, the way this is the first time we all doing Google Hangout together. It's the first time everyone is doing it. So the way, like when everybody's speaking, the person who is going on live right now is when the little green dot goes on. So as long as we all stay quiet while the other person is talking, the camera goes to that person, and then magic happens. So go for it.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so just knowing how powerful our stories are, and, I mean, really, our stories inspire people like nothing else. It's how we connect to one another. It's how we change the world through our stories. And so the idea of really speaking my own story, because it was and is so compelling, really to come out with my own truth and everything I've been through that has made me who I am today. I knew there was other women who would desire to do the same thing. And so, I thought, wow, if I could get together all these women to really dive into the truth of who we are and then share that transformation that empowered us and will absolutely empower others. I just knew it was going to be an extraordinary creation, and I didn't give it much thought before I just said yes, let's do this, and it's been amazing.
I know it's been an amazing journey of transformation, not just for you, but I believe in what I hear from everyone that I have read so far, and I have uh, do the radio interviews in the morning in Black Talk Radio. I have heard that many of us have got a lot of healing done just by putting our story there. I put there last year. That's how I know that we connected, because you kind of knew my story a little bit. But I do know that a lot of healing has been going on just by putting what we went through and how we help people. So I just want to welcome Michelle. Oh, wait, I just got myself to the other page.
Okay.
I just want to welcome Michelle. Are you guys there?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Yes, welcome to.
I usually go by my middle name, Samarit.
Oh, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome for joining us. So here are I have a few questions for all of us who's going to be joining. I know that a few people are going to be joining us in a little bit, and they're getting in. So I have one of the questions I want to ask to both of you guys, Chloe and Michelle Samarit. I want to ask you, when you describe your chapter, what would be one of the 3 words, empowering words, that you think that your chapter should, you can describe your chapter about, like 3 powerful words that you can say, my chapter is about breaking free, liberation, and, surrendering. So those are the powerful words I have from my story. But what would be yours? Chloe.
Well, and I do just want to say that you're just asking these questions, so this is truly on the spot here. My chapter is called Risking Everything, and actually those are 2 pretty strong words, to be honest. I speak a lot to actually that fear point that you get to, and trust me, it has a happy ending, but I was speaking mostly to the place of where you have that crisis point where something's got to change because you just actually can't go on any longer living the way you've been living. So, 3 powerful words, yeah. Risking everything. And I'd like to have a positive word, but here's one of them. And hope. Hope. Yeah. Hope. Maybe there could be a different way of living, and not just the grass be greener on the other side, but like literally have more happiness, more freedom, more health. So that's what my chapter is about. That point where you get to that hope becomes stronger than fear.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Hope, definitely one of the words. Samarit, what would be one of those 1 or 3 words that you have for your story?
My chapter is called Choosing Me. So the 3 words I can think of is strength, choice, and freedom. The strength comes when one stops worrying about rejection and abandonment and other people's opinions. So it's that kind of strength. The choice, you have to choose yourself, and then you have that freedom and the strength.
Yeah, I like that. I like that concept of strength. It is so choosing me. I haven't had the time to interview you in the radio show yet, so it's an honor to have you here, and especially it's an honor to have all of you guys and meet you, in person and see your faces. It's kind of cool.
It's great for us too.
Yeah, it's just like it's the first reunion of all of us. That's awesome. Krista, when you were putting all this together, I know that I'm sure because of creating something like this and working with women and working just in the action of creation, I believe that you learned something more about yourself that you didn't discover before, that you were capable of doing. And that creative all this, what would be one of those, you know, lessons that you got now? And more than now you have them in your toolbox now.
So many. There was so many. Actually, this collaboration and it's empowering a woman's soul. That's what it's all about, and that is what I received from it, from the creation of it. I mean, it empowered me on so many levels, in so many ways, and it really allowed the feminine within me to blossom and emerge like never before, because it put me in an element of my highest time of creation at any point in my life, the highest time of creation. And knowing that vision I had, I guess I was really able to acknowledge myself as a visionary. And even though I had acknowledged that in the past, I really acknowledge it now. I really acknowledge that I am a visionary and that I can and do create what I desire. And I love the idea of bringing other women along with me on that. And so I know now, for me, collaboration is very much in alignment with who I am and where I'm going and what I'm offering the world. And so it's all about collaboration, co-creation, and this book just confirmed that. It confirmed all of that for me. So I learned so much.
Yes.
It was very inspiring.
And go ahead.
I wanted to speak to that question. I wanted to go back and really honor Krista's leadership. I think at the beginning you were talking about we learned something and we healed something from writing our stories. And I think a lot of that was due to Krista's leadership and vision. I was one of the people who had written her story before, so there was a version of my story that was ready to go. I decided to join this, and I thought, oh, it's a piece of cake. I'll just hand in the version that I've already written. And yet, Kristas kept saying, go deeper, see if you can get another lesson now. And that, for me, allowed me to do exactly that. So the things in my toolbox right now are collaborative leadership. Watching it really imprinted my heart. And the second thing was in my toolbox is that everything in my life is perfect. Every moment is perfect because of what it allows me to become.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
So, we just got Renee on the group. I'm still getting you. Renee, Miss Livick.
And Jody.
Hello.
Hi, Jody. My toolbox is that everything in my life is perfect.
All right, guys, try to please shut everything down right now because we can hear you. But also we have Jody today. much for sharing that.
Hi. Okay,
Welcome,
I'm really
guys.
confused now.
So we just got There we go. Now we got you guys here. Welcome, enjoy. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Renee, we can't see you. Hopefully, you get your camera going on. But welcome, Jody.
Thank you.
Here we are, meeting in person.
Yes, I've been watching.
That's awesome. So, Jody has also been one of the co-authors of the book, and please introduce yourself a little bit. I know that we spoke this morning in the radio show at 9 o'clock. Just share a little bit about you, but also if you heard one of the questions that we had, if you please can answer that, that would be awesome.
Okay. Yeah, I was like listening but trying to figure out the tech piece at the same time, so I'm like, forgive me if I've kind of forgotten. I was like trying to listen, but then I was trying to get on. I'm Jody, and my chapter was all about my journey to self-love, and I spoke with you this morning. And yeah, so I'm still trying to figure out this whole Google Hangout thing. Yeah, my chapter was just all about that story of like the journey to self-love, and I just want to second thanking Krista for being our leader for this whole collaboration, and I feel very, very grateful to be part of it. So thank you.
Yes. We also have just got Cheyenne. If I hope that I'm pronouncing your name right.
Charmaine.
Yes, Charmaine. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us today. Please introduce yourself and tell us your chapter. What's the title of your chapter?
Sorry. I didn't realize this was all like fun, so I'm trying to get my room ready for it. And I have not taken a shower yet today. I'll just go ahead and put that out there too.
I love it. I cleaned my mess before I did that. So I was like, I hide it. I put a blanket and everything.
I was sunbathing and I put pants on just before I got on the call. I was like, oh, no, only see me from the hut up. And then I was like, maybe I should put pants on just in case.
I'm not wearing a bra either, but I guess it doesn't really matter. My chapter is Feel, Love, Heal. I think that's what we stuck with.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So let me just welcome also Renee. Finally, we can see your face, Renee. Welcome, Renee. Please introduce yourself and tell us your chapter, please.
Can't hear you.
I can't hear you, Renee. No, we can't. You can try it again. What about there? All right. I don't think that I can hear Renee, but hopefully she can get her microphone on. Try to do the volume.
It looked like it was muted.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It looks like Renee's microphone is muted.
Yeah, it looks like I can see that coming up there.
And that's from the operator. That's from you, Lucia.
Okay.
It's a different symbol from when we mute ourselves.
Okay. So, Renee, try now. No. What happens is I click in and then also I click out to make sure that if I'm doing something. Let me see. She's not mute. I just unmute her. Renee, are you there? No. So let's try to figure out this while we ask Charmaine. We put you on. Oh, here we go. No, it said I muted, but let me just unmute her now. But Charmaine, we were starting with a question that said, if you can give 3 empowering words that describe your chapter, what would be those?
Oh, that's good. Did everybody else already go?
Yeah, we kind of went already on that one.
Okay. That's a good question. 3 empowering words. Empowering. I would say conquering.
Mm-hmm.
Resilient. Hey, can you guys hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just put on my headphones. Conquering, resilient, and brave.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, I like that conquering. That's such a beautiful word.
Thank you.
Yeah. Jody, you didn't tell us your 3 empowering words yet.
Okay. 3 words. Faith, wisdom, and courage. I guess those would be 3 words.
Yeah. I'm still trying to figure out why I cannot hear
Renee.
but we have another amazing speaker, Melissa. How are you doing today? Welcome to In Pursuit of the Divine Google Hangout, where we're sharing our amazing stories. Thank you for joining us. Please
Hello.
introduce yourself. Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Yes, please introduce yourself and tell us the name of your chapter.
Yeah, so my name is Melissa Waldron, and I live in New Haven, Connecticut, and my chapter is called Believing the Tether is There.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow, look at all these women. This is great.
It is great.
Panorama of women. Cool. This is great.
Yeah. Yeah, like sometimes we're on Facebook and we all like typing and doing our stuff, but like we don't see the interaction behind it. And like it's so cool to have everyone's personality just shining through the show right now. It's kind of unique. I love it.
Yeah.
Melissa, one of the questions that we asked was in your chapter, if you can give us 3 empowering words that describe your chapter, that will be amazing to hear from you.
3 empowering words.
Yes, please.
Oh, wow. I would say, intuition, and courage, and uncovering, like unearthing myself. That's 2 words, but it's just it was a big uncovering. It was a big unearthing of my own intuition and my own abilities. Yeah.
Yeah, that's I like the uncovering because like rediscovering and uncovering and like getting to our intuition is something so powerful. We always live in self-doubt. I personally have experienced some self-doubt even with my my healing and all that stuff like discovering it's very profound when we allow ourselves to do that. I like that. Thank you for sharing that.
Mm. Mm. Thank
So
you.
let's um we are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We are 8 here today, and we have our creator Krista. Before we were just acknowledging her the amazing work that she put together. Krista, here you have like 8 of us. I mean 7 of us, including you 8. And we're so honored that you put all this together, and we really come like I feel so blessed. So, what would be one of the decide on hitting a bestseller, right? We all want to be a bestseller, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, girls? We're doing all the work we can, right? To hit the bestseller in Amazon, May 30th, and everybody can get the book in Amazon. Can you just share a little bit more about the book release and share something with us, please, about it?
Wow, that was really loud. Yeah, so May 30th is set for a book release. We will be on Amazon, so people can purchase that book through Amazon from, I believe, the 30th through. We're going for bestseller within our first 24 hours. So we all really need to collaborate and come together for the marketing of that in order to make that happen. So and then we have our website too, inpursuitofthedivine.com, where everyone can learn about the book, all of our amazing co-authors, and all the details about what's coming next with Feminine Rising. A lot of you are joining me in another collaboration beyond this book, so very exciting.
Yes, Melissa, I had to unmute you for the sound, but I can unmute you now. I'm trying to figure it out. So just wait on me with this, okay? So don't think that something. I'm trying to still learn on this, okay? I have not done interviews with more than so many people. I have just done with like one-on-one, two,
Yeah, it's a challenge. You're very brave.
Okay, you're talking now. I'm like, okay.
You can hear me, right?
Yes, I'm like, oh my God, God bless me. So one of the other questions I have, yes, I'm so excited. May 30, everyone. You can go to the website www.inpursuitofthedivine.com, and you can buy the book there and Amazon, and we are gonna go crazy about trying to get these on social media. Wink, wink. Try to get everyone in social media. So
yes, we'll actually have a huge social media frenzy going on over that period of 48 hours, where we'll be able to let everyone know where exactly they can purchase the book. So it'll be very clear.
So we're gonna.
Krista, is there something we should be doing in that 48 hours?
You're going to get all those details probably coming up this week, so everything will be laid out. You'll know exactly what to do.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's the exciting part. The book's actually going to the printers on Tuesday, so I'm just going through the manuscript now and giving them the final okay. I'm doing a few simple edits, and then it will be going to the printers. So it's becoming more and more real by the day.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah.
So we all should be celebrating with wine that day on Tuesday evening.
Absolutely.
Raise your hand if you're doing the wine with me.
Something. Always doing the wine.
If those ones who are not doing wine do like a water, so I'm fine with that too. So let's start from my left, Charmaine. I'm gonna have one more question. Two more questions, but one, can you, from this whole experience, if you can share one healing experience that you have received from putting your story out there, putting it on writing, and just allowing yourself to be vulnerable to share it. What would be one of the healings that you have received from all the experience?
Well, that's a great question for me, especially because I haven't shared it with many people. In fact, especially not the people that it pertains to. And that's been a challenge for me. And so what the people I have shared it with that were a part of my life as a little girl have embraced me and just really validated me. And that's what I'm kind of looking for from my mom and husband, who are mentioned. And I haven't shared this with them yet because my gut tells me it's going to be not very well received. And so my healing so far has been that these people that were part of my life as I grew up, these adults that were raising me in that same party atmosphere and everything, they've just really, really embraced me and told me how, you know, proud of me they are and how important, you know, they've watched me grow over the past, you know, 35, 40 years, and they're just so, so proud of me, and that is super gratifying and healing for me. But they're just kind of like the appetizer, and I need the main entrees to be proud of me and embrace me in the same way. And well, I don't need it. I would just really like that. But if they don't, that's okay too, because I know I'm proud of this anthology and getting my story out. So my recovery is really still yet to be determined, and I'm not quite sure if I'm going to be able to share it before the 30th, or if I'm just going to chicken out and wait for it to be fully public and then be like, oh yeah, by the way, guess what? So I haven't really felt the healing yet in that sense, because those are the two people that I think I'll get the most benefit from. But the people around the sphere, they have really praised me and supported me, and for that I'm super, super grateful.
Yes, I can feel the healing going on. I can feel like the whole energy, and I can tell that you definitely have like 30 strong goddesses around you to help you to go through this, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
We're all gonna be there for you, you know.
Thank
So
you.
yeah. So now, Chloe, what would be one of the healing experiences that you have received?
Well, I think Charmaine just kind of underlined this for me. I have worked in other collaborative projects before, but this one in particular, Krista, and I know I shared this on the radio show, was truly different than any other collaborative experience. This wasn't just us coming together and, how do I say, I was witnessing transformation taking place in this group of women, and the healing that was going on individually that was coming together in this container that Krista created just really blew me away. It was pretty powerful. And knowing that actually these energies of transformation and healing that we're experiencing and now putting into this written book is going to have the same energetic effect for everyone who reads the book, reads one of our stories, reads 5 of our stories. And now, Lucia, you were talking about like just flipping open the book and reading whatever story you're inspired to read that day. You've got 30 days worth of inspiring stories. So that was really the impressive thing to me, was being part of something that was much bigger than my own individual story, and knowing that it was going to have that exponential effect on people when we put it out there in the world. And not every project is like that, so it's awesome to be a part of something that's really going to serve people in their own healing processes.
Yeah, I was reading a little bit about each story, and I feel that like I shared with you that day, 30 days, 30 stories, 30 amazing women and goddesses. I always feel like we all have been put together into this beautiful circle of fire and love, and just to share with each other that a quality of a true goddess, you know, like the quality of the divine female energy. And I feel like each day also have a quality of inspiration, you know, a quality for each, for what a female, you know, energy should be. So So yeah, so let's do the 30 days, 30 stories, 30 empowerment, inspirations and qualities to find about ourselves, because I believe that just by reading a little bit about each one is like I can grasp very quickly. Um, each one of us has a quality that we all represent about divine feminine. So Jody, what would be yours answer? What would be you healing? You
Um, a lot. I mean, for me, it's like I was looking for an outlet to speak my story and to speak um, my experience, and I've been kind of trying to do that for quite a while, and it was like dispersed. And so I felt like this was like the place where it all kind of came together. And for me, it's like I really want to be the voice and to use my voice to speak up. And um, it just was healing on so many levels. And I know there's so much more that's probably going to come out of it. And it's just being able to have the container to share it and to be able to put that out there, knowing that someone else is going to read it and connect with it and look at that and say, I can do that, or have some kind of inspiration for them. So that's what was really healing for me, knowing that I'm putting that out there in service, and it's in this collaborative effort of all of us coming together, and because it's like, it's the underneath everything. It's like I'm not just like a surface person. It's like, what is the energy behind it? What is the, all the women coming together, and it symbolizes so many things. So I just think that for not only my own healing, but for someone who is coming in and looking at this, just seeing that healing, I just think that is a lot of it. And there's still going to be a lot. Like my mother is like, oh, you wrote a book. Oh, okay. So she's just kind of like, whatever. So I was a little kind of like, all right. So I haven't, it's like I've had support, but not really. People are just kind of like watching, going, oh, you wrote a book. That's cool. And I'm like, no, kind of huge. But it's just, I know that I sleep well at night knowing that I've given it my all where I'm at, and that this is only the catalyst for more things to come. And I'm very, 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 very grateful to be a part of this, because it's so what my soul needed to move forward in the direction that I feel called to go. So I feel very, very grateful to be surrounded by all of you, because you are all amazing. So thank you.
Hey.
Beautiful.
What about you, Melissa?
What about me?
Yeah, what is your healing? What healing you got through all the experience of putting your story out there?
Well, I got healing on a lot of different levels. I guess one of them is just the simple act of writing. For me, is a joy, and I haven't really done much of it lately. So just the fact that I got to write is fantastic, and I felt really connected again with my creativity, which is, what I consider one of the divine feminine principles of life. And, it's like getting back down to our essence, and my essence is I'm a writer. So for me, it was really gratifying on that level. It was also very healing to put words to paper, that to really describe my journey of how I got to where I am today, because it helped me really realize how far I've come and how much I've been through and how much I've been able to connect with my soul again. Like it was such a great revelation. I was one night writing and I was just, crying, because I was like, it just kind of all came up, and it was like, I feel like through this process of writing, this amazing gift that was given to me by just being part of this project and with you all, I feel like I was able to kind of resurrect my soul.
Wow.
Yeah, I love that. That's fun. Resurrection of the Soul. That should be your next book.
Yes, it's a great title.
You can take it. Michelle, I mean, I say it because I call you Michelle because it's the first name I see it. So I
Yes.
apologize if you like the other way. I apologize on that. But please share with us, the answer to this question. What was the healing you got from writing
Yes.
this story?
Thank you, Lucia. When I started this project, I asked myself to be more vulnerable in my writing than I had ever been. And I am a doctor, and my story centers around a mistake that I made early on in my career that had just dire consequences. And I had told the story before, even though it really shadowed my entire career. But in writing this chapter this time, I went and looked deep in my early childhood for the source of the fear of rejection that shaped some of the decisions I made, the actions I failed to take in that monumental and momentous weekend when I worked with this particular patient. And for me, it was important to come out as I'm not just anybody. I'm a doctor. I made a mistake, and this is where the mistake came from. Not that we can all make mistakes mentally, but this was almost like a character flaw because of the fear of rejection. But the fear of rejection was really anchored in an event in my childhood. And the healing for me was to see the perfection of the entire arc of events. When I looked at the whole circle, I could really see it was perfect. Every one of those events from my childhood through the mistake, if we want to call it that way, through the responsibility that I carry through everything that I do since that time, have met, and it shapes my attitude towards everyone that I see. And so it had people talk to me and say, "You are so different. You are such a loving, compassionate healer. You're different from other doctors." Well, I asked myself through the process of this writing, if these events had not happened, would I be that deeply humble, that deeply compassionate? And I had to say no, that this is a true result of this whole progression of events in my life. So the healing was to see the perfection. The second healing was to be free of the fear of rejection.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. And as I can imagine, being a doctor and putting yourself out there, you really do it, girl. You really do it. Wow, I
Thank
know. I
you.
bow to you. I bow to you. That's
I bow
very.
to all of us because, as everyone has said, it was because of the circle that I could go as deep as I could go.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone else has experienced it, but I know that this has been like the onion layer peeling.
For sure.
Because writing my chapter and then thinking like, oh, okay, I have issues with trust. That's what it is. It's just trust. I don't trust people, especially those that drink too much. And then it took like until a couple days ago. So it's been maybe a month that we finished our chapter, and like a couple days ago, it hit me like a ton of bricks. And yesterday was almost like a very kind of depressed day because I think I was realizing it, but my trust is like deeper than just not trusting others. It's that I actually question myself often because those others have opinions of the decisions I've made that have made me question myself. And so it just like the chapter was like one layer of that, but then it just like it hit me hard yesterday. And I didn't even get out of the room. I just stayed in bed. It's really hot here, so I just stayed cool and in my bed and watched TV and cried and just kind of dealt with it. And so for me, there's a huge onion layer that's being pulled off, for sure.
So glad you said that, Charmaine, because it's kind of, I find myself asking, do I walk on this earth believing that the universe is a place where people are out to get me, abandon me, reject me? Or do I walk on this earth believing that the universe is a loving, nurturing place? And ultimately, it's a choice that we get to make.
Yeah. I always, when I share something in my practice, like I'm a kind of person that I bless every single one of my experience, even my, my chapter or my story of the revolution itself, liberating inner beauty revolution. It was created because of me sharing my story being gone public. And I remember clearly when I made the YouTube video that you all can hang out and check it out. It's like a 17-minute. We had to cut it from 25. Of the rejection, those fears of being like, especially, I'm a Latina girl, right? Like, my family back home in Ecuador. My God, the fear, like, oh my God, why my family, my dad's side, my mom's side family is gonna think about me saying my story out there on the public and YouTube and making a whole revolution about it. And like, oh my God, I was like so nervous about just putting it out there. Even now, just even going more deeper with even be part of this amazing book. I have been like having some kind of, like Charmaine said, like the layers keep going and going about being more vulnerable and how to face my dad, going back home and how to face my dad and and tell him and say, hey, I wrote a story about my life and you're part of it and my mom too, like, and this is the whole movement about and the fears is I always bless everything, and the healing that I got from sharing my story and from being part of this book too, because I went deeper in my healing process. It was the ability to go back home and love my dad as the way he is, and truly know that I totally forgive him. I forgive myself. I truly embraced what happened. Like you said, Semerit, Michelle Semerit, snake, right? Like
Yes,
you
that's
said,
right.
if I'm getting it, I'm getting it. If I didn't live that part of my life, if I didn't live that whole thing of my life, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be having the experience of speaking with you, amazing goddesses. I wouldn't be able to help people to have a different perspective of life. I bless everything that happened to me and that happened to my mom, my dad, and that happened in their own life because I feel that, and I always see it this way, that it's like a beautiful, a paint masterpiece, or like a pastoral masterpiece that we all create. And we all co-created our own reality, and we create this masterpiece, and this whole masterpiece, what will happen if this paint that we're painting as the artist doesn't have that little drop of red color that will finish the job? What will happen if that piece of the puzzle is not there, it's complete? And I feel that we're still going to go through things in life until we get it. So I, like you said, Marie, it's like we needed to live this and we needed to put ourselves out there to really be where we are, helping others, empowering others, inspiring others, and helping people uh, to change their life through our stories and through our experiences. And I honor you too, Charmaine, for putting, it really is putting your message out there and like just being so vulnerable still right now, like saying, yesterday you were crying and all that stuff. It's just amazing to hear that from you. And I know that you're doing a lot of healing, and I bless you for that. And thank you for sharing that because that inspires more people to let the layers keep going and going and go deeper and deeper. Don't make me cry, all right?
Thank you.
I won't make up, okay?
I didn't, so I'm still crying from yesterday.
Charmaine, I can totally relate to what you said because I had a horrible day on Friday, so I think we're all still peeling layers. But it's okay. So you're not alone.
Krista, now that you have seen like the amazing work that of all the people that you have put together, the Dirty Women, like what do you think about this? Look at this. Look at what you have made possible. All of us here shading more, like a true healer, helping us to share more, to take more onions, like more layers of the onion. You haven't been sure about that.
Yeah, it's so awe-inspiring to me. Like, I want to acknowledge you all for really having the courage, because I had a good idea about what we were all getting into, but I'm going to be honest, I had no idea that we were going to be diving in this deep and really witnessing all the other levels of healing within myself, within each one of you, and then getting to do it together. I mean, as I was going through the motions, I really had to sit back each day and honor what it was that I was seeing, because if you don't stop and pause for a minute and really look at it all, it could just pass you by and you just keep going. But I really acknowledged each one of you, every little post, everything that you guys are bringing to the table and expressing as we've been going through this, and everything that you shared. I mean, it was so inspiring to me, and to think that, it really started with me, that was empowering. That was like, wow, I'm so grateful that I had the courage to move forward with this project.
It is me.
Else who's going to hear from us, and who's going to read the book. I mean, it really is going to create my vision for massive transformation on the planet, and I'm just so honored that you all chose it. Thank you for choosing it and for choosing me to collaborate with me. Thank you.
Yay! Thank you. Blessings to you. I really love that. And so I have one more question, girls. I know. I know. I'm like, all right. I'm the question girl. So when I'm in school, trust me, all my classmates don't like me. So bear with me. We're gonna start with we're gonna start with Michelle Samarit. We're gonna go with it right now on my screen. Who is the inspiration? Who is the person beside you that has been your inspiration to do it, get it done, keep going, and move forward in this experience?
I have many inspiring forces in my life. One of them is my father, who treated me as if I could always do anything. And paradoxically, he's also the person who I feel abandoned me through no fault of his own, but created what I call my primal wound. I have cultural elders that I connected with in 1996, and they have very powerfully influenced me to always keep going. The spiritual leader of my spiritual path, and finally, most recently, some of the coaches that have pushed me to go for perfection, to not perfection in the way that mentally we define it, but to always go for the plus factor, that there's always another step to climb. And my painting teacher, who has brought it all together with intentional creativity and how that brings together soul's yearning and the healing that's possible.
Yay. Awesome. I'm like, I can listen to you all day.
Thank you.
I'm gonna be hanging with you once a week. Put it in your schedule, girl. Because you're awesome. But I'm not paying you though. I'm kidding. Okay, now we're gonna go with Melissa. Please, can you answer that question? We don't hear you. I think that you mute yourself. You wanna unmute yourself, please? There we go.
Okay, no dirt bikes. That's good. Okay. Yeah. So is the question who inspired me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, who's the person that inspired you to keep going, move forward, get it done, and when in this whole experience?
You mean in my life, or you mean
with the whole chapter of you putting your story out there? Even with the whole chapter is pretty much talking about your life part. So what was that person that inspired you to put this this message out?
Well, I mean, my mother was a source of great frustration and also a source of great inspiration and also a source of great love. So she was this kind of double-edged sword in my life, because she really believed in me and she really, loved me, but yet she had a lot of difficulty in her life and made it very challenging to be her daughter. So I basically lived in her shadow most of my life, and it wasn't until after she passed away that I stepped forward and began to claim my own space. And so that's sort of, I think, the best way to describe it.
So that's in the past, but now in the present moment, do you have somebody that inspires you to keep going?
Yeah, I have these, I have role models that as a child, that meant a lot to me, and I spent a lot of time with my imagination thinking about these women, from when I was a little girl till when I went through college and beyond. I was fascinated with the life of, Helen Keller, Harriet Tubman, Emma Goldman, Amelia Earhart, Eleanor Roosevelt. Those women were really my champions and women that I always looked up to. And so, I never knew them obviously in real life, but they carried me forward many, many, many times. Mm-hmm. And so those were my sources of inspiration here and there throughout my life.
Cool. Awesome. Now we're gonna go with Jody.
I don't know. It's a good question. I was like gonna do this no matter what. Like one of those people, it's like I have to do it. So there were really, I didn't feel at any point that I wanted to stop or not keep going. I just needed a rest. But for me, I think it's like more about, I just know that there's the women out there that need me, and so that mm-hmm. is what inspires me. I just know that they are there, and I am just so, don't want to cry, but I'm just so desperate to find them because I know that they are so desperate. And so I just know that they're out there, and I just feel that pulling me. And then I know that there was one time I was on the subway and I saw this little girl, and it's like one of those things where I was like started self-doubting, I started second-guessing myself, and then I just like asked for a sign. I looked down and I saw this little girl, and she was standing on the subway, and she just looked up at me, and I was like, all right, gotta do it. So it was like, for me, it's just, I just know that whatever happens, happens, and it's like an internal drive that I can't shut off. So I'm highly inspired by everyone around me. Like all of you inspire me. The people that I see just doing stuff in the world, I think, just inspires me, and it just I'm one of those people. It's like I put my mind to it. I get out of the way because I'm coming. But yeah, so it's just, I think there's just so much. I can't pinpoint any one thing. There's just so much inspiration that I see that, and it's just, I just know that the people out there that need this, that's what keeps me going. So.
Yeah, awesome. I know that for sure. You know, you don't have to look for them because they're gonna come to you.
I
The
know.
Yeah, they're gonna come to you, and you know, that's one of the things I learned about the coaching practice and everything is that we when the client is ready, when they said, right? They said like when when the student's ready, the master will show up.
Yeah.
So sometimes even though that we see people that struggle, even it happen in our family, you know, we want to help them out, but until they don't ask the question, can you help me? We cannot do anything because they haven't asked us to act on it yet. So it's like we have to respect the boundaries and the, you know, so I know for sure you're gonna get a lot of people that want to work with you because they are ready to work with you, and you know, just know that for sure. We're gonna see a Chloe now. Chloe.
Hi there.
Hi.
Well, Jody, I understand how it's a difficult question to answer. One person, I guess I want to say this about writing and sharing our stories. I know in my previous life, when I was a very unhappy, lonely corporate executive, and I didn't even realize it at the time, I was desperately seeking um, some kind of outlet that would show me that happiness was a real possibility in this lifetime. I was devouring other women's true life stories, and I didn't know that's what I was doing at the time. I wasn't conscious. But one book that really, really grabbed me is called An Unquenchable Thirst by Mary Johnson. And, you know, I'm connected with her on Facebook now, but I'll just say that even though I've never met that person, her life story and her sharing her life story impacted me tremendously, and it's still, I can still feel that. And also another book that I read called The Dirty Life by, I believe it's Crystal Kimball. Anyways, the point being is like, I wasn't finding it on television. I wasn't seeing any outlets of like people living inspiring lives. And then I started reading real books, you know, nonfiction books on women's stories, and realizing that there were people out there that weren't all that different from me who'd actually taken big risks in their lives and seemed to be a lot happier than I was. So that I devoured them. I had to build up my own courage. And then in stepping into that courage place, I thought taking the big leap was the scariest part. It was scary, but then there's been some more. I mean, I couldn't be here where I am today without a lot of my soul sisters that I've met through these, you know, crazy acts of faith and Facebook. I know it's kind of, you know, it's got two heads, Facebook, but truly, one of the other co-authors, she's not here with us today, but Jody, we met, you know, via some groups, and she's one of my best friends and biggest supporters. We support each other, and then some of my other soul sisters. So it's been, this group has really shown me that there are a lot of women out there being authentic and speaking with integrity, and it's so huge because there are a lot of us out there still who are on the other side, just on the other side of that, of like looking for inspiration, looking to know that you can and will survive and even thrive after you listen to that soft voice within that's speaking you to tell you to do something differently.
Yeah, I love it. Now we're going to go with, I'm jealous though now that you say that you hang out with the girls and I'm not in New York, I'm in Florida. But everybody's welcome to come to Florida and we hang out in my house. We can sleep on the floor, but we're all fine, okay? Now I'm jealous.
Be careful. I might take you up on that.
Oh, you're welcome to come. I have a floor.
Well, I live in Seattle, so it's like you and I are like the farthest that we could possibly be away from each other in the United States of America.
But in the winter time, when you guys want to come to a nice, beautiful, like sunny day in Florida, you're welcome to hit at my house. No, I'm being serious.
Where in Florida?
I'm in Sarasota, Florida, on the west coast. Yeah, it's a beautiful town. But I mean, city, whatever. But let's go back to Charmaine. Right? I hope that I'm pronouncing your name right. You know, my language, Spanish, English, name it. Excuse me.
Perfect. Who inspires me? Well, as my chapter states, like I don't have a lot of a trust and confidence in other people, and in the last probably 10 years of my life, really it's been God. And as cliche as that kind of sounds, especially the last year, 2 years or so since I became a holistic health coach, and I went to IIN. I heard you ask that in the interview too, Lucia. But really started tapping into my own heart and what my desires were and what legacy I wanted to leave on this earth. And through that, I got connected to the angels. I do angel reading cards, which I feel like is the messages that God's telling me that I'm not listening, that I'm probably being, not probably, I am being given every day, that I'm ignoring, or I'm trying to left brain and say, oh, that's not possible, or that's not what that means, or, you know. So really my inspiration has come from God and the messages He's been giving me. So much so that, like, my chapter, when I sat down to write it twice, the first 2 times, I was not able to be authentic because I was afraid and I didn't want to hurt anybody and all that. And every night, those 2 nights that I did that, every night I went to bed, I laid there and I said my gratitude, and I prayed, I prayed for all the things I'm grateful for and the abundance I have. And I kept hearing, that's not good enough. You need to make this be real. You need to put it all out there. Like, stop hiding behind it. And I know that was a message. And so one night I couldn't sleep, and then I did some cards on myself, and it was the exact same thing. It's like, you are amazing, and go for it, and just tell your story the way it's meant to be told. And so really that was like my inspiration. It was like, you know what, if God's telling me to do it, and it's not gonna, I'm not killing somebody. I mean, God's telling me to do it, I'm gonna do it, because I believe that there's something on the other side of this wall or this hill, this mountain, and even though it hasn't been exposed yet, it's going to be, and I have faith in that and trust in that. And like I said, the few people that have read my story after the fact have embraced it and given me support and stuff. But I didn't tell anybody about this, nobody. So like I didn't have really anybody saying like, you can do this, go for it. Like Kristas probably the only person I talked to beforehand that I was just like, I am scared to death to do this. Like, this does not feel good or right or anything at the beginning. But once I started writing and getting it out, it was like, okay, this is okay. I'm seeing in editing. The editing was awesome, just kind of cutting out some parts. Like, none of it, I didn't want any of the story to come out shaming or blaming. I just wanted it to be the story of me and as I experienced it. And that's what I feel came out in the chapter. So God and my angels are my inspiration. And whenever I question anything or need some help, they're the first I go to. And they haven't steered me wrong yet. So I'm trusting that.
Yay, now you're going to be my angel reading girl. I'm going to call you now.
And I'm in California if anybody wants to come out to California.
Pull out your card, girl. Pull out your card. Now, which one you want to pull out?
My little angel cards right there. There's my little angel card section.
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, yes, I like them too. It's like amazing that I don't know, like all of you guys have experienced that by becoming more in tune with ourselves and tapping more into a true story, a true story, and getting the story out there and being part of this amazing group and getting all the energy of all of you guys, this positive, empowering, go-getters energy. I feel like a clear channeling messages that we're able to hear not just from God but from all type of areas is coming more clear and clear because we're allowing ourselves to open up in different levels. So have you guys had any experience? Maybe you, Charmaine, has some experience with that, but I have been experiencing a lot more listening, like a lot more messages are coming through because we're tapping into a true self. Do you guys have?
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
also, I find that like eating differently, eating cleaner and healthier, like that keeps my connection open. I've been off sugar, which is my vice, for about 65 or so days, and that I feel has also opened some, kind of removed some of the veil that's keeping me closer to my connection. And really just saying yes, like that's really kind of like, if there's one thing I could tell people, say yes in your life more, because I didn't live that life until about a year ago. And I would have been like, oh, what's Krista talking about? That's crazy. I can't write a book. I'm not an author. Like all that self-doubt. And instead I just go, yeah, I'll do it, yes. And then I'll figure it out as I go. But boy, is it so much more beneficial. Like my life is so much more fulfilled and happy because I'm saying yes. And I believe that's what God wants. God wants you to live a vibrant life. He wants you to be happy. And my source is totally in a happy place, and He wants me to be there too. And that's what I'm doing now. But I lived a very fear-based, scary life up until now, and until last year. And so, yeah, just saying yes to things. Like you might not have any idea the how, but just say yes. Go for it. You'll figure it'll all place itself in front of you as you need to know it.
So it's yes. Okay, go ahead.
I totally agree with what Charmaine is saying about the saying yes, but writing the chapter, being in alignment with the perfection of everything in my life, actually gave me my life's work. It was like this is my work for the rest of my life, which is either working with healers in particular, but in general, people who are weighed down by having the feeling that they have made a mistake, especially a mistake that gravely wronged someone else. Because we're all big-hearted, so we don't set out to go hurt people, but sometimes we do. And so my life's work now is bringing that healing to those people. And in the alignment that came through this chapter, I actually felt the pain of healers and practitioners who are carrying that amount of guilt and who really have made a mistake that caused harm. And we have to live with that responsibility, yet without the guilt that's weighing us down and preventing us from doing even more beautiful work.
Okay. Anybody else want to share something? Girls, don't be shy. So I feel like very blessed and honored that you all guys came today. Are we just gonna have one more minute? If anybody wants to share something empowering about we want to share today. It's a Sunday. Tomorrow, everybody go back to the norm, the routine. So something that you want to say today to inspire others to walk the life in a very meaningful way. Sharing, be opening themselves, allowing themselves to be vulnerable, and stay away. Not being fear, not living fears. Something you want to share, please say it now.
I'll say
So,
something, because I just had a huge thing on Friday. and I needed this reminder myself, is that there's no such thing as failure, and that that failure just does not exist. And as long as you're taking steps forward, or you're trying, or you're doing something where you feel called, you have to let go of the outcome, and that there's no such thing as failure. So just keep going, and just keep going.
Beautiful.
My inspiring words is the title of my chapter, which is Choosing Me. So for anyone who is allowing fear of rejection to shape their decisions and actions, what I would say is, what would it be like to choose yourself, to choose to love and approve of yourself no matter what, and no matter who may not be doing the same thing for you? What strength might result from that?
Beautiful. Chloe, you want to share something?
My words of wisdom are, don't wait.
Mm-hmm.
Don't wait. There is no time. Now is the only time you've got. You can't wait till you're going to feel better, till you're going to feel different, till you know what it is you're supposed to be doing. Just don't wait. Put one foot in front of the other. Start asking yourself the hard question. And don't be attached to the answers.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, nice. That's a good one. We all have an attachment to everything. Beautiful. Um, Krista, you want to share something empowering before we end?
Yes, yes. I want to say trust. Always trust in knowing what you know, because often we deny what we know. And when we're willing to acknowledge that we know everything it is that we need to know right here, right now, doing that allows us to really just trust. And with that trust, you can do anything. You can be anything. You can really step into your full potential with that.
Yeah, beautiful. Jermaine, you want to share something?
Well, just to piggyback on what Jody said, it was about the failures, and what I was told a few months back was that there are no failures. There's just feedback, and everything is feedback on how you want to do something maybe differently, or you learned from that one, but it's not necessarily a failure because you learned, or you have to do it a couple times and then you learn. But whatever it is, it's never a failure. It's just feedback, and we're being given feedback every day. So it's just a matter of our perspective of how we take that on, as opposed to being like, oh, I failed at that, or I'm horrible at this, and I just never any good enough. And it's like, you're perfectly good enough. Like Kristas said, you know exactly what you need to know at this very moment, and with that, you're like super empowering and beautiful and perfect, exactly the way you are right now. Will you grow? Most likely. But right now, today, you're absolutely perfect with what you know and what you don't know. And I like all the feedback, even though, most people do see that as failure. I love the feedback.
I like that. Feedback. I'm even writing it down. That's awesome. Melissa, are you still with us? I see Melissa's face there, but I can't hear her. I'm gonna say mine. Hopefully she comes in before we end. What I would like to share with everyone is about surrendering to true love, and just surrender yourself to higher self, to divine, to know that inside of ourselves, we have a higher self, we have a true divinity, we have a goddess within us, and male and women, you have a god. You have to you are something amazing. You are an amazing being to begin with. So surrender yourself to it, because as a higher self, we know better. We know what really is going on, and the different perspective of reality. we know what's really going on, and that everything that's happening in our life is because it's preparing us to get there. It's preparing us to learn more about ourselves and how capable we are of reaching to the final point. And I truly believe that surrendering ourselves to love and allowing ourselves to be vulnerable and learn from that experience is very fulfilling because you feel yourself very clean, very you have more space to welcome abundance, prosperity, wisdom, love in every single angle of your life. So I would just say surrender, surrender to love, and everything will come, everything will happen when it needs to happen and when you need it. And you stop trying to manipulate everything, to control everything in life, because if we're humans and you haven't worked in the past, it's not going to work in the future. So get over yourself and just surrender totally and allow yourself to just be yourself. So, I hope Melissa's there. I don't hear her, but
I think she left actually. I saw a message that she had to go.
oh, okay, all right. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. We hope that you enjoyed, over an hour chat with all of the girls, and we're gonna have another one on Wednesday, and hopefully the following week we have another one too. I know that I booked one for Memorial Day weekend, but I know we're all going to be partying. So hopefully some of them bring the margaritas and something and food and everything, and we can eat and talk and chat while we eat and drink. I'm kidding. So thank you so much, girls. Thank you. I appreciate you. I honor you. And I'm just going to be saying my final bye. And please go ahead and say your final bye, and we're all done.
Thank you
you,
so much,
everyone.
Lucia. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. You're beautiful.
Bye.